Hi, welcome you all for the lecture on 8051. So in last lecture we have seen about the architecture of 8051. In this lecture let me see about the special function register of 8051 and the port pins 8051. Okay. So apart from the general purpose registers, there are some special function registers that are all for a specific task. So let me see what are the special function registers. Okay, you could see here accumulator as well as B register. So these two, accumulator as well as B register, they will be the math registers and they are special function registers, and you could see they are 8-bit registers and an asterisk mark. This indicates that they are bit addressable. That means each of the bits of accumulator or the B register can be read. Okay, so that is the meaning. Then you got IP, and there are two registers for the interrupt bus. So one is your IP, that is interrupt priority register, and interrupt enable register, and both these registers, they are bit addressable. And for timer got 6 register. One is to set the mode of the timer, and other one is to control the timer, and the other 4 registers are your timer 0 higher order count and lower order count, and time 1 higher order count and lower order count. Okay, for your serial transmit and receive purpose, we got 2 registers. One is serial control register and one is serial buffer register. Then we got program status word, so which is nothing but the flag of 8051, so which is also a bit addressable one. Okay, and then we got peak, that is power control register. Then there's one more special function register, which is the stack pointer. So apart from this, your port 0, port 1, port 3, all this will be a special function registers, and these all the 4 ports, they are bit addressable. And then your data pointer, it is not bit addressable, and that is also a special function register to access the external memory. So now next we'll see what are all the various address for your special function registers. So accumulator A and arithmetic register B, they get the address E0, H0. And to access your external memory, the data pointer register, higher order and lower order, they take the address 83, 82. Then interrupt enable control and interrupt priority, they take the address 8 and B8. Then port 0, port 1, port 3 logic, port 3 latches, they take the value 80, 90, A0 and B0 address. Then power control register, it is 87. Program status word, it is D0. Then serial port control, it takes 98, and serial buffer takes the value 99 address. Stack pointer takes the address 81, and timer control register takes the address 88, and the timer mode takes the address 89. Then timer 0 lower order, it takes 8A and higher order 8C. Then lower order 8B and higher order is 8D. Okay, so these are all the various address of the special function registers. So next let me see about the ports, port pins, and how they could be configured. In 8051, most of the ports, they are multiplexed ports apart from your port 1. Okay, so therefore they are programmable. So we can configure them to work as input port or as an output port. So they have a special D-type latch, and we know that the ports are bit addressable, and the port latches or port pins, we should not get confused with that. Okay, each of your pin will have a latch. Each of the port pin will have the latch. Let's see the circuitry of your port 0. This is your port 0 circuitry. This is for a single pin. So for a single pin, you could see that there is a special function register, that is a latch, and there is some control logic, and there are some transistors to drive the value on your pin. Okay, and this has been connected to the internal bus, and you got read pin data, read latch bit. Okay, all this. So now let me first configure port 0 as an input port. So if at all you want to configure port 0 as an input port, make the control signal as 0. To the latch, you write the value as 1 through the internal bus, and then give the write to latch signal. When this has been latched, then Q will be set to 1, Q bar is 0. When Q bar is 0, your control value is also been set to 0 when it is used as put. So when this is set to 0, both the transistors will be in an off state. Okay, because value will go as 0, 0. So both the transistors will be in off state. So therefore, the pin is been like a floating one because both of them are off state. So therefore, the pin is been kept floated. Okay, so since it is input pin, so from your input device, whatever the value it goes to the pin, it goes at this path. Here it is a tri-state buffer. So to the buffer, when the read input data gets activated, then the data will be transferred to your inter bus. Okay, and if you want to write that value into the latch and give the write to latch signal, then the data will be stored inside the latch, which could be read later. Okay, so by giving the read latch bit, you can read the value later. So this is how your port 0 is been configured as an input port. Next, port 0 as an output port. So whenever we want to configure the port 0 as output port, we should write in the internal latch the value as 0. So when we write the value as 0, okay, and when the latch signal is been set, then it becomes 0 and it becomes 1. When Q bar becomes 1, the lower order transistor goes to on state, and your control being 0, this control being 0, the upper transistor is also in off state. This is on state and this is in off state. Okay, so now to the pin 0.x is now connected to the ground. So therefore you can hit 0 through this pin. Okay, if at all you want to write the value as 1, then to the internal bus you write value here as 1. Then your Q be set to 1, Q bar equal to 0, and both transistors will now remain in off state. When this is in off state, then this is like it has been floating, the pin has been floating. So to write externally the value as 1, connect an external pull-up resistor. So for port 0, we need the external pull-up resistor. This is for a single pin I have shown. So for 8 pins you have to connect such resistors. Okay, for 8 pins you have to connect such 8 resistors. Okay, external pull-up resistors we have to connect so that the value 1 could be thrown as your output port. Next, port 0 is address and data. When port 0 is going to be used as address and data, this SF latch has got no use. So only thing will be your control logic. So the control is signal is been made as 1, and your address or data it take the value as 1 and 0. Okay, so when the signal is been made 1 and the address is been made 1, your upper transistor gets turned on and lower transistor gets turned off. Since this is get turned on, your P0 points will get the value as, because transistor is shorted, so therefore PCC will be the voltage. Okay, so this you could write it as your address, that is the pin address is 1, so here also the value is being generated. Now if the value is going to be 0, if the address or data value is going to be 0, then transistor, lower transistor, this is going to turn on and this is going to turn off. When this has been turned on, the pin has been connected to ground, so therefore pin 0.x will read the value as 0. Next, port 1 as an input port. So port 1, we know that it is only a standalone port, it doesn't have any multiplex function. So therefore, if at all I have to use this as an input port, I should write 1 and I should give the write to latch signal. Then Q bar becomes 0. When Q bar becomes 0, your transistor, this lower transistor, it is going to be in the off state. Okay, and your pin will be like as if it is floating, because this is an internal fed pull-up resistor. This will also make pin to get float. So therefore, from your input device, whatever the value is being given, it will be read via this, and it will wait for the read pin data signal. When the tri-state buffer is activated with the read pin data buffer, then the value will be transferred to the internal bus and it could be taken for further processing. So port 1 as an out. So port 1 being an output port. So let me configure this. First we'll write the value as 0. So when we write the value as D equal to, then Q will become, it is going to be 0, Q bar is going to be 1. When Q bar is going to be 1, the transistor will get switched on. So therefore the pin 1.x will be connected to ground. So as if it has been writing the value 0 to the output device. Okay, if at all you want to write the value through the pin as 1, then give D value is equal to 1. When D is equal to 0, your Q bar will be equal to 0. when D is equal to 1, your Q bar will be equal to 0. That makes the transistor off, and to the pin 1.x the signal VCC will be connected, so which could be given as your the value to be written in your external device. Okay, so this is how we could write both zeros and ones in your output port. Next we'll take up port 2. So in case of your port 2, the same logic. If at all I want to use this port 2 as an input device, I should first in the latch I should write the value as 1. When this has been made 1, your Q bar will be set to 0. So therefore the lower transistor will get switched off, and the upper transistors you have only it is the internal pull-up resistor. Internal pull-up transistors you got, that will also make the pin to float. So therefore the pin could be pin 2.x will act as floating, and the value could be read from the external world. Okay, so if at all I am going to use port 2 as a address, then I should give, okay, I need not worry about this SFR latches, because this is no more going to work when I am going to use this is for an address. So all I have to do is I have to make the control signal as 1, and then the address value can take either 0 or 1. Okay, so if the control value is going to be 1 and address going to be 1, then through this upper, that is your internal pull-up resistor, the data will be transferred to 2.x. When control signal being 1 and your address being 0, your lower transistor will get switched on, pulling your pin to 0. So therefore the logic value 0 will be entered as generated as your address. And next, coming to the port 3. So port 3, we know that it is not only your IO port, it also generates the special signals. So you could see here. So we know that how to configure any port as an input or output by configuring your special function register latches. Okay, that is by configuring your D latch. We know that how any port could be made as an input output port. But the specialty of your port 3 is it is to generate all the special signals like your interrupt, serial data, read write signals, all that. Okay, so you could find here there is no control logic that is been set up. So the alternate output, that is alone, it's been connected to your NAND gate to generate the other signals. So for this video lecture material preparation, I used 8051 microcontroller architecture, programming and applications by Kenneth Ayala. Thank you.